Hey, it's Miss Natalie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a kindergarten teacher on a mission to empower you to confidently navigate your child's education. So today we are going to talk about how to communicate with your child's teacher. Parents have to give up a lot of control in order to let their child thrive at elementary school. And it can be a really hard transition to go from the preschool, the daycare, or just being at home with you to absolutely no control, drop off and pick up at the end of the day. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what communication with your child's teacher will look like, what to expect, what not to expect, and how you can get the most out of your communication with your child's teacher. A few years ago, I had a parent ask me on the first day of kindergarten where the cameras were in my classroom so that they could watch their child in class. I laughed in the moment and was very confused and politely told him that this is public school and we don't have cameras in the classroom. If you've been in a program like this where you are nonstop able to access your child, find things out, never go more than a few hours without hearing about your child, you're gonna have to work with yourself on lowering some expectations there and detaching from your child. I'm not saying you won't be communicated with and you won't get to learn about cute things that they did in school, but it will be a lot less than that. Part of the reason is all teachers really have a huge amount of responsibilities that they have to do, and we are teaching and running the class most of the day. A lot of kindergarten teachers are just in there by themselves, or if they have a teacher assistant, that TA is also hard at work. So there is not a lot of time to sit down and be communicating through the day because we are super busy teaching and entertaining and making your child a better person. The other reason for that is we are not necessarily paid for the time that we spend communicating with families. In the school system that I work, I get paid for 15 minutes before the bell rings and kids come in, and 15 minutes after the bell rings. So that's 30 minutes there. My students go to specials, which is like music, art, or PE class. 50 minutes a day, 5 times a week. 3 of those 5 times I am in meetings. So I get half an hour a day and then an additional 50 minutes twice a week to plan, prep, make copies, talk to families, catch up on any extra meetings that I might be called into. As you can see, my time is really tight, and the average teacher is going to have a really similar or even less time than what I do. When you think about communicating with your child's teacher, it is important to realize that the best way to communicate is actually to communicate. So if your child's teacher is reaching out directly to you and you don't have time to respond and you're gonna need a day or two to get back to them, communicate that. Respond to that message, let them know, I will get back to you, I got a lot going on right now. That is a great way for your teacher to know that you've listened and you've cared, and they don't have to spend their time following up with you or wondering if you got the message at all. As you get to know your teacher, you'll want to figure out the ways that they communicate. Some of the most common ways that we see teachers communicating is through email, a program called Class Dojo, the classic Notes Home, and a phone call if necessary. Class Dojo is an app. It's also a website that is a messaging system between families. It's almost like a little social media platform for you in the class, so the teacher can use that to post pictures of the class. There is a point system that some teachers use. I personally do not use it. You can also essentially DM back and forth. Your teacher might use just one of these, but it's more likely that they're using a combination. That is a lot of different types of communication, and you need to prepare yourself to be looking and listening for communication all the time. Every teacher you have, you're going to have to get accustomed to how they communicate. But you can also let them know how you communicate too. While we want you to be as flexible as possible, we know that some boundaries might exist. For example, if you don't have a smartphone, Class Dojo is going to be harder for you because you'll have to log into a computer to see it every time. So you might be able to work with your teacher to find an easier way to communicate. If you travel a lot for your job, communicate that with your teacher. Let them know that there's going to be times when you are not able to get in contact. I've worked with a lot of families in the medical field where the one parent is working really long shifts and only has certain days of the week that they're available, that's great for me to know, because the next time I go to bug you when you don't respond in 48 hours, I'll understand where you were and what's going on. As your teacher is getting to know you, it is really helpful if you communicate and you're just straight up. Please let us know if your family is divorced. Please reach out to me if your child didn't sleep well and they're gonna be cranky today. Don't be afraid to remind me if your child is early dismissal or if they are carpool on Thursdays. Don't be afraid to remind me that your child has an allergy. I'm human and there's 24 little people around me all getting my attention. When you talk to us though, remember we are people. There's a really big difference between an email that starts with a nice hello, how are you doing, compared to one that gets straight to business. Getting a nice greeting at the beginning of an email makes a huge difference for me. I think we all know tone can get lost over email and over messages, so it just reminds me that you are coming from a happy place too, and that we have mutual trust in each other. Well, these are the ways you can communicate with your child's teacher. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you prefer email or notes or Class Dojo when you are communicating with your child's teacher. Hit that subscribe button too. My name is Miss Natalie, and this is Primary Focus. I'll see you next time.